In this lecture, let us see how to build a strong DevOps foundation for your API project. As you know, DevOps is very popular these days, right? Why? Because of the success rate the companies are seeing by adopting this DevOps principles. So, what is DevOps? Many of you already may know, but I'm just iterating one more time. So, DevOps are set of principles that are established between the dev and operations teams to smoothly transition the development into the operations so that both the parties leverage the best out of it and keep the things smooth without having much hurdles, right? This adoption of DevOps with certain agreed principles brings in the deployment to production by giving more reliability and as much as automation as possible. This is because the defects or failures in business critical API implementations have the potential of affecting the entire application network, right? So, adopting such principles will make things more reliable and less leading to the defects or failures. Therefore, strong DevOps capabilities and a rigorous development and deployment process are an absolute necessary. Okay. Now, what are the things that we need to standardize? So, as part of C4E or as the project manager of the application network project, the things that need to be standardized, at least the basic things in the API project, are number one, all RAML definitions and RAML fragments must live in an artifact repository. Could be Nexus or could be JFrog, but you can choose, already, right? Any point exchange as well as an artifact repository. And all source code for API implementations must live in a source code repository. Like the Git is the most popular way because of its distributed version control system. So you can choose GitHub, Bitbucket, or any other Git based repositories. So every API implementation should have its own Git repo. Again, what you are seeing in front of you is a development and a DevOps process that is depicted at a very high level, and what it describes is like, first, the developers of an API implementation implement on the feature branches of the Git develop branch of that API implementations repo. Okay, so that is the Git flow branching model. I am assuming that you already know the branching strategies of Git based repositories. Okay, and the second thing is developers implement the Mule application and all types of automated tests like unit, integration, and performance tests and make them pass. For this, you use Anypoint Studio for the coding, and for the testing purpose, you can use JUnit, SOAP UI, or JMeter, and also the MUnit, which is a component of the MuleSoft. For build automation, you can choose Maven and Mule Maven plugin, or SOAP UI and JMeter again for the automation purposes because they also support. Only thing is SOAP UI and JMeter are the third party ones, whereas the Mule Maven plugin comes with the MuleSoft and is natively supportive for the Mule applications. Now, once done, developers submit this GitHub pull request from their feature branch into the develop branch. Then a developer from the same team performs a complete code review of the pull request, confirms that okay, all tests pass, and if satisfied, merges the pull request into the development branch of the API implementations GitHub repository. This triggers the CI/CD pipeline. The moment the merge happens, the CI/CD pipeline will trigger. Okay, so you can again use many CI/CD build tools like Bamboo, Jenkins, Hudson. There are many others in the market, but here we are just showing Jenkins for the explanation purposes. Okay, so Jenkins is the one we have chosen for this lecture, and where once the trigger happens for the CI/CD pipeline, the Mule application is compiled, packaged, and all unit tests that we have done previously are run against an embedded Mule runtime. Okay, then the Mule application is deployed to an artifact repository. Again, you can choose any artifact repository, but again for this example, we have shown Nexus as the artifact repository. Okay. So when sufficient features have accumulated for the API implementation, the release manager of the API implementation cuts a release by tagging, creating a release branch, and ultimately merging into the master branch of the API implementations repository. So far it is in dev, right? So it has to be merged all the way from dev to the release branch and to the master branch. This triggers the CI/CD pipeline in Jenkins. The CI pipeline is executed as before, like you saw in the previous steps, leading to the deployment of the Mule application into Nexus. Automatically, through a manual trigger or automated way, the CD pipeline is executed, the deployment pipeline. A well-defined version of the Mule application from the artifact repository is deployed into a staging environment, for example. Then integration tests and performance tests are run over HTTPS against the API exposed by the API implementation. Upon success, the Mule application from the artifact repository is deployed into the production environment. So the deployment verification subset of the functional integration test is run to verify the success of the deployment. Failure leads to immediate rollback via the execution of the CD pipeline with the last good version of the API implementation. It's a rollback strategy, right? Any project will have this. So Anypoint platform has no direct support for canary deployments. Okay, if you're not aware of canary deployments, it's the practice of initially only directing a small portion of the production traffic to the newly deployed API implementation, okay, and making sure if things work, then only allow the full traffic. So such support is not directly there by the Anypoint platform today. What here we are trying to represent is just one of the ways or the common way of the CI/CD setup for the Mule. This is not the only way or the only correct way. This is just to give you an idea how it can be set up. Okay, so the above discussion assumes that a previous version of the API implementation has already been developed, and therefore the API manager and API policy configuration of the API instance exposed by the API implementation is already in place. Okay, so we are not showing the automated promotion of the API instances in the API manager and all through CI/CD. We are assuming that they are already there. Okay, although the creation of this configuration can be automated using the Anypoint platform APIs. You know, right? Every single thing we can do on the API manager has the platform APIs. So there is no limits for our imagination. If you want to even automate the API instances and API policy creations in the platform, you can do so by using the Anypoint platform APIs. Okay, but what we have explained in this particular diagram is just a normal API implementation, how it gets promoted once the code is checked in from the feature branch, develop branch, all the way to the production. Okay, let us move on to the next lecture in the section. Happy learning.